Um, a brief comment on Access Sally, which is a Netflix film. It's instructive. It's good to see something so awful that it reminds us that it's difficult to make something good. And that's what Access Sally is for, is to say, look what happens when people with ambition and the gumption and the ability, somehow to get there and get an opportunity to make a film, does it. But, it all goes horribly wrong. It can go horribly wrong. So this movie is kind of like Brazil 7-1 lost to Germany in the World Cup back in the day. I actually clocked the Access Sally is a woman named Gillers who is accused of treason for having broadcasted all kinds of propaganda for Nazi Germany during the war as an American citizen. Needless to say, they were sympathetic to her, so they sanitized. They made one small reference to Jews, but I'm sure what she was saying in a broadcast were actually quite vicious on occasion and despicable, but they cut that down. But I did clock the summations by the two sides. So the prosecution clocked in at 1 minute, and the summation for Gillers clocked in at 10 minutes. Now this partly is owing to the fact that they have Al Pacino playing the lawyer. He's a great actor, and they want to squeeze as much Pacino out of this as they can. Although, one has to say about Pacino, as one does with a lot of actors who have had great careers, that, the last 20 years, they, like so many of us, become cynical, and they get a very fat check, and they have a bag of tricks, and he has a big bag of tricks. He shows up like a plumber with his canvas bag, and he pulls them all out. And, I personally think he's very good for doing what it is that he's doing right now, which is these wonderful Pacino impersonations. But it is an interesting question that wasn't really delved into, this whole question of propaganda. But the subject actually was a good one. It could have been done well. And this points out again, very tellingly, a theme that I'd like to discuss further in other videos, which is everybody talks about what a brilliant actor that guy is, and what a brilliant actor that guy is, and what a brilliant actress this person is, a great performance, an amazing performance, life-defending performance. Everybody's a great actor. I honestly feel that you could pull me off the street, coach me, put me in with their Pacino, who will be sympathetic and helpful. He's a great guy, I'm sure, and a good director, and the right script, and I learn the lines, and I'm sure I could get through it, and maybe even, get praise, if not beyond that. Beyond that, Academy Award probably takes some talent, perhaps, usually. But nobody talks about the script. Imagine how hard it is, how much harder it is to write a good script than it is to act, because we have 200 brilliant actors, according to what people say and write. But how many writers can you even name? How many script writers can you even name? And the ones who are known, they get maybe 3 or 4 or 5 famous hits in their entire life. Someone like Robert Towne, brilliant script writer. Tarantino writes all his movies, but I am not a Tarantino guy at all. But at least you have to give him credit that he writes scripts that people like. But how many people are there out there who write scripts? It is much rarer a thing to write a great script. And performing is what we do. Because when we wake up in the morning, as soon as we start talking to ourselves, we're performing. As Jim Carrey said, depression is the refusal of the organism to continue to play the role that it has adopted. I'm not going to be Jim Carrey anymore. I'm not going to do this. So we're always performing. I'm performing right now. I'm trying to keep my tongue in my mouth. I'm trying not to make a fool of myself. I'm trying not to bore you, which I may have failed at. But as soon as I meet someone on the street, I'm performing, even when I'm with intimates. And that is what is so important about intimacy, right? The fact that we don't have to act as much, but still there is an act. But how many people are writing? Well, they're talking, but are they thinking? And are they constructing? It's harder to write than to act. So saith I.